All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are live. Alive. We're about 10 seconds early on this live. And I got a really cool guest tonight, Nguyen. And he does 3D printing. He's like the 3D printing guru. And I haven't really talked to him yet. He was on Hank Strange podcast twice, I believe. Really interesting guy. So let's bring him into the chat. The one and only Nguyen. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Michael. I wouldn't say I'm a guru. I'm an enthusiast. I still have a lot to learn in this field. So,
Well, you know a
um,
lot more than I do. Oh man! Oh yeah, the guy from Slipknot passed away today. Oh, it was a bummer. Joey Jordanson. What a bummer! What a bummer! I don't know what kind of music you listen to, but Slipknot is a really cool, like I guess they're heavy metal band. What a bummer.
gotcha.
So first comes first. So you're a software engineer by day and a gun mastermind by night.
I mean, yeah, I guess. You know,
So my first question is, how did you get into wanting to 3D print? Because I've almost pulled the trigger a few times on a 3D printer, and I kind of want to get one, but where do I start? You know?
well, where you start, I always throw out my good friend Control Q's guide. It's called theguide.controlq.com. Has some links, has some information on where you can find, printer, tune it, start it up, etc. Um, my venture in 3D printing is actually pretty unusual. I was working and had some colleagues who were in 3D printing. I thought, oh, it's pretty cool. Okay, and I'm absolutely certain they regret showing me 3D printing to this day.
Probably.
Because then I started jumping into like, oh, what if I made a frame, or what if I printed out this AR receiver? And I have a video or two like way back on my Twitter history where it's like me like shooting like an AR. I print it with like 25% infill like this, just like looking away, and it worked. Um, and so yeah, I just thought, well, it's interesting. I got some coppers and start modeling the Heritage Rough Rider, carbine stock, and trying to add a buffer tube to it. And that was pretty much my claim to fame. The Heritage Rough Rider, the AR-15 buffer tube, and the
Yeah,
back.
you were at the IV-88, and I saw you, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Oh, you're here in Atlanta. Okay.
No, I'm in Houston, but I was up there.
Ah,
Is that where you're at now? Are you in Atlanta now?
yeah, I'm based out of Atlanta.
Oh man, I love Atlanta. My idiot brother lives there. I mean, I love my brother, but he lives in Atlanta, and I've been there a few times. Actually, a ton of times. I love Atlanta, Georgia. If I didn't live in Houston, I'd probably live in Atlanta.
Ah, I got you.
I like it quite a bit. Like up in Fayetteville, I like Fayetteville quite a bit. Alpharetta, it's kind of a nice area. I like Alpharetta, but man, so I'm brand new, right? And I've been thinking about it, and honestly, I really wanted a 3D printer because I wanted to 3D print some baby Yodas back when the Mandalorian was really cool. I was like, man, I want to print some baby Yodas, and I think it's like they're like what $400 for a printer, like a real good one is like around $400.
Actually, way cheaper than that, believe it or not.
No
Um,
kidding.
yeah, so if you want like bare bones, dirt cheap, let's just get into it with a capable printer. Um, the original Ender 3 is like less than 170.
It's called the Ender 3.
Yeah, the Creality Ender 3. Like
And how big can I print? Can I print like a basketball shaped object with that?
uh, about 250 by 250 millimeters XY, and then about 250 in Z. So I think let me see here. In freedom units, that's about 250.
Yeah, we got to dumb that down for me. I don't
Or like,
understand all that crazy. I don't use that metric system. Who
yeah,
uses that?
the vendors I work with, and I give them millimeters, they're like, I want imperial. I'm like the world standard is metric. I was like, no, I want freedom units. I was like, okay, fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the next size up from the Ender 3?
Ooh. The next size up is quite a jump. The Ender 5 Plus, which I snagged from Micro Center, used open box basically for like 500 flat. I think it gives me like 400. Let me look this up real quick. Let's see here. Ender 5 volume.
But to make one of these like Glock copy pistols, you just need an Ender 3.
Yeah, the Ender 3 is basically the basic bare bones.
How much is all that that stuff cost that you put in? What is it called? Ribbon?
The filament, like
Oh, filament. How much is the filament? Yeah.
Like 20 to 25 bucks off Amazon. Then you have a Micro Center around you, it's like 18 bucks.
Yeah, no more Micro Centers around here, man. They closed.
No.
Wait. No, that was Fry's that closed
I
down.
was gonna say Fry's closed here too.
That killed me, man. I love Fry's.
Yeah, I grew up going there. So
Right. So okay, so it's 170. So about $200 you can get started printing Glock clones, pretty much, the receivers.
pretty much.
And so how do you get the file and all that? Do you need like a fancy computer or just any computer, any laptop?
Just get your regular Windows or Mac desktop. Use Unix, you probably know what you're doing already. Go to thegatalog.com, like catalog with a G for GAT, or go to deterrentsuspense.com and just download the files there. It's literally released online for free. Or if you want to get super enthusiasts who want to be at the cutting edge, join the Deterrent Suspense chat room. There's betas happening there. We just have a beta that just came out for the Taurus 709 Slim. You print the frame, put the parts in, tell us if it works or not. So,
oh man, that is cool. That is pretty cool. So let me ask you, how much is it? So the filament's 25 bucks, right? For how much? How much do you get for that?
a kilogram.
All right. How many of those guns can you make with that? The receivers, like 5, 10?
It really depends what kind of frames you're printing. Are you printing air receivers? Are you printing something like a Tech 9? Are you printing small pistol frames, large pistol frames? You can at least eke out at least 3 per roll.
Oh.
At least 3. Depending
25 bucks for 3 frames? That's not bad.
Yeah. Depending on your settings, you can squeeze out more.
Now, do you guys make them a little bit thicker? Because, I don't know.
So, generally, yes, there are some design considerations when you're working with parts kits. Namely because it's going to be a lot of, self-fitment, some pinning in, and it's basically a big hot glue gun, a small hot glue gun that just puts layers down, right? So you're not going to have that high pressure plastic injection mold to just shove material in like that. So to compensate for the lack of high pressure plastic or polymer pressed in, the design might be a little thicker. You print with more shell walls. Basically, they're the lines that go around the model, and you probably print with 90% infill. So that's the inside of the model.
Oh, nice. Now let me ask you a question. Is there different in filaments that you can use? I know I'm asking a bunch of basic stuff because I literally know nothing about this, and I might go try and grab one of these machines this weekend, and then you got to leave me your phone number because you're gonna hate me in a couple weeks. You're gonna be like, "Stop calling me, bro. Stop it." So I buy one of these machines. I set it up in the house. I go download the file, and then just push start, and it makes it. Now I heard sometimes when you're doing a 3D print, it can get randomly mess up.
Yeah, things can go wrong, and typically things go wrong. Layer shifting, if something gets caught on your tracks, or the bed adhesion, the print just peels off of your bed, and then you're just squeezing out spaghetti. Things like that do happen, and they are unfortunate. I have come home from work and just see spaghetti all over my table and be like, well, that was a 48-hour print that just turned to spaghetti.
Oh, sweet. That sounds great. So let me ask you a question. Are there different quality filaments out there?
Yes. So typically we recommend that the most popular filament we target is eSun PLA Plus, right?
Wait, what is that? How do you say that?
eSun, like ESUN, eSun PLA Plus. And that's typically what also comes with what Micro Center with their inland filament. They also white label the PLA Plus from eSun.
When you say white label, that's like the generic label?
That's like eSun sells them the same thing, and they put their own branding on it.
Right. Okay.
So PLA Plus is pretty much what we generally target and work with, and that's pretty much the only filament I've had experience with. I have played around with TPU, like I've made myself a little stamp. That's the more soft rubber
Right.
filament. But beyond that, not really. I've pretty much only worked with PLA Plus. And where you get your filament kind of matters too. Early on, a lot of people bought a lot of Sunlu filament, which did not hold up well at all. Very brittle, prone to fracturing. And each manufacturer formulates their filament ever so slightly differently. And we found that eSun is generally the best. There's also Polymaker out there. A lot of people like. There's also Protopasta, which doesn't really like us doing gun stuff with them. And I kind of sound like a Micro Center show right now because I just basically like go there every like other week for filament.
Oh, I used to kill. Like, I'm from Los Angeles originally. Regretfully, I apologize to everyone in the free states, but I'm from Los Angeles, so I used to go to Micro Center all the time. We had 2 different fries to go to. God, I miss fries, but man, I used to kill hours in Micro Center. There's one down by the Galleria Mall here.
Okay, so you're right. You're right in Houston. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like it's like 20 minutes. Well, it's about 30 minutes away.
You see, I count a Micro Center as the first sign of a developed civilization. So, like, if there is no Micro Center, the chances of me potentially moving down there drop to almost zero.
Oh, dude, I love Houston. People give it a lot of grief because it's so hot here, but man, I love it. Everyone in this, let's check the chat real quick. Michael Henderson says Micro Center is the big boy toy store. I believe it.
Yeah, that's right.
What's up says what's up.
Yo.
Oh, Benoist Micro Center Galleria. I can print with light metals. Oh, can I print with light metals? Oh, that'd be sweet.
So you can't print metals directly. You can print metal infused polymers, but those will just tear up your nozzle, especially the brass nozzle, really fast.
So that's another question I have. What's the upkeep on one of these machines? So say I want to go crazy and print like 50 little baby Yodas, right? I just want to go balls to the wall and print a bunch of these little Yodas out. How do I even ask that question? How many kilos can I print out before I have to change any parts on the machine?
That really depends on your mileage. I haven't experienced any serious failures yet. Well, actually, I have. I take that back. I have clogged my hot end and stripped the threads off of my nozzle. So I did have to replace my hot end. But this was like after like 2 years of running this printer, basically like forever.
Now I see behind you, you look like you have some frames. Now I know we're not allowed to touch them, folks. Yep. But those look very cool. I'm so jealous right now.
I suppose I can pan over really quick here. I don't know if I can tilt my camera real quick.
Look at that.
My poverty rack on the bottom here. And see, it has some pistol frames and some...
now, all those shoot?
Yes, they all shoot. They're all real firearms. And
how reliable are they? Because
reliability is, I say about the same as a real gun. To be honest, for example, designs like the FNS 40, FNS 9, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, Smith & Wesson M&P 9 and 40, or like even the Diamondback DB9s or DB380. Those are generally railed. The fire control units and locking blocks have built-in rails in them, so you basically have the core of the gun itself. The frame just holds everything in a certain spot to make it all work.
Right.
So the pressure-bearing components are the barrel and the rails, and typically when you have that, you already have a gun that's as reliable as the original itself. Then after you have those parts already, another factor that comes in is the design choices of the engineer who reverse engineered the frame. Did this engineer make the trigger guard too thin for it to snap when you hold it too tight? Did they add enough structuring to the sides to support the amount of force, etc.? or even for designs like the Glock, where you have to buy rails to use with your parts kits. Did the designer, make the rails, correctly? Is there enough, material, the right size, right spec, etc. So it really boils down to what you're starting with and what's being filled in with the gaps.
So what's like a really good 9mm to start with? Because I'm gonna make one this weekend. I call it a hunch, but I'm gonna do it.
So to start with, well, that depends how involved you want to start with. Do you want to print just a frame, or do you want to print an entire gun? Because then your options vary a lot.
Whoa. You could print a whole gun?
Like 99% of it. So up there in the corner, in the upper right-hand corner for your audience, with the little
The gray one
pad, they're all gray. This one right here that I'm here.
Yeah.
That one is called the FGC9. And back here. The FGC9 stands for Frick Gun Control 9. This is a Christian Minecraft server. The Frick Gun Control 9. This is the Mark II variant, where it's made from COTS parts, and COTS is commercial off-the-shelf parts. You can make this gun from just things from your local hardware store, from Amazon, and you can make it's designed to be made in Europe and Asia, places where gun control is especially strong.
Get out of town. So I can go to like Home Depot and get everything but the magazine.
You can even print the magazine. You just buy hydraulic tubing or tubing, do some electrochemical machining. There's a jig. You can slide down the tubing, and you run a motor with a power supply, and it will basically etch with the use of chemicals in the water to rifle your barrel. Like that's high level, generally speaking. I'm not an expert in that particular sorts. There's videos on YouTube and Odyssey, and I'll talk a little more about Odyssey in a bit, of this process and of the FGC9 itself. And it's really designed for, if you really had to, you could make it in your bedroom.
No kidding. That is pretty awesome. That is so cool. Are you gonna email me those files?
I don't have to. You can just go to deterrencedispensed.com and download, or go to thegatalog.com. So catalog,
Nice.
like catalog with a G.
Now, do you have your own YouTube channel or no?
I was just getting that set up over the weekend, and I was actually, brainstorming during the day, not charging labor for, of course, for those that work with me who know me, thinking about it during my break time about what videos I was thinking about making.
Make anything.
Yeah, like some videos I was thinking about were probably like looking at frames or looking at different guns, even some like obscure weapons.
Well, let me tell you, because I've been doing this for a little bit, not as much as some of the vets. If you're thinking about making a lot of money on YouTube, no, it's not this. I'm sure you make plenty of money in your day job. And people ask me, "Are you trying to make a living out of YouTube?" I'm like, "No, man. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm all right. I just like getting my hands on stuff early. Like when Ruger reached out to me and asked me if I wanted the LCP Max, a couple weeks early before release, I was like, heck yeah, send it. I shot the heck out of that thing. I love it. That's a great little 380. I wonder if there's going to be a 3D of that one coming out soon. You're looking for it right now, aren't you?
No, someone in your comments asked for links. I'm just going to type it so you can paste it in the chat for them really easily.
Brad Weber, Appalachian Gun Runner. Oh, URLs in the podcast. How do I do that? How do I do it? Do I go to the private chat?
Oh, actually, hang on. I don't know if you can put the links on your YouTube stream.
Oh, they might ban me. I tell you what I'll do is I will put the links in the description after this video post. Maybe.
I promise you guys in the audience, just Google Control Pew. That's like control keyboard, like CTRL Pew. Go to deterrencedispensed.com or even thegatalog.com. Those are we've made those terms very SEO friendly. So If
Is
you
that SEO friendly? Does that mean idiot proof?
SEO is in like search engine
I
optimization.
know. Just kidding.
Meaning, if you look it up, you will find what you're looking for. And the guide.controlq.com is a great starting point to get in.
So Scott has a question. What's the startup cost for a good 3D printer? We talked about it. You said it's about $170 for a what?
An Ender 3, Creality Ender 3.
But if you're in Houston, don't you go to Micro Center this weekend and buy all of them up because I need at least one.
All right, so let me give you a little pro tip here.
Me snaking my stuff.
If you are blessed enough to live next to a Micro Center, what you can do is go to their website, right? Type in Creality or just type in Ender, ENDER, and select your local store and click on the Ender 3, Ender 3 V2 or Ender 5. And if you look on that listing, you'll see where it might say open box. If you're buying a 3D printer, you're going to be tinkering already. So you can tinker with an open box printer that someone probably gave up on assembling and then save money off of that. So let me go open up Micro Center right now for my local Atlanta store. So we go Micro.
So you have to assemble it when you get it?
Yes, you have to assemble it. And it's involved, but it's straightforward. Does that make sense? Like you will have fun doing it. It's not.
Oh man, I have a 8-year-old. I do Legos religiously.
Oh yeah,
We just finished building the train city.
Oh, that sounds fun.
You think so? You have kids?
No, I'm mingle and ready to single.
Yeah, get back to me when you got high functioning kids that only want to do stuff with you. My kids don't do tablets and all that stuff. They want hands-on, pay attention to me right now. They're crazy. Oh, look, Finesse in the chat with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. My 3D printer fund has $10.
Hey,
I'll take it. Thank you so much.
So I'm looking at Micro Center right now for my local Atlanta store. Let's see here. The Ender 5 Plus is 600 MSRP on sale for $570 right now. But if I buy open box, it's only $512.
How do you know it's all there and all that?
Typically, when you ask for it, there's going to be a yellow label on the outside of it. It'll tell you there's any parts missing. If you're missing anything. But worst case, just you can call, send an email to Creality, I'm missing a part, or just look up the part and order it.
I'm definitely gonna have to do this. I mean, I want to get one because, all right, let me ask you a question. What is the most random stuff you've 3D printed? Have you ever just printed like, hey, what? Come on, be honest for the chat. What is the most random thing? Don't be embarrassed because I'd print like little boobies. I mean, I'd print all kinds of just way out crazy stuff because you can. I mean, I'm a big Fallout fanatic. I'd have all the Fallout figures. I'd print out all kinds of random stuff, man.
So you're a comic fan too. So
Hardcore, yeah.
I see your Venom and your Punisher stuff in the back. So one of the most random things I printed is a Sissel puff iron yoke. So those big, ironing, like steaming, iron machines for like tailors and for high-end fashion stores.
Yeah.
Those parts are old. They're probably cast metal and stuff, and my dad's broke, and I was like, okay, well, I just designed this and then give you the part, and so I did.
What? That is very cool.
And that's one advantage to 3D printing is that if you have stuff in the house that you need like purpose made or just something that breaks, you can print the part and install it. It's gotten to the point where even like Whirlpool and Maytag, they're saying, oh, don't use unauthorized replacement parts, especially 3D printed ones, to discourage you from that, right?
Right.
But let's be frank, they don't make appliances today like they used to anymore. My washer dryer broke in like less than a year. I bought it.
Oh man, that sucks.
So, but the 25-year-old washer dryer that we've had for an eternity just cranked along until 25 and then broke, and we're like, we'll just buy a new one, and then no, not the same.
Nice. In the chat, we have 32 Icon with a $5 super chat.
Woo!
32 Icon. I just saw your show on Hank Strange. Man, I watched some of it, but that other guy was depressing me. I was like, oh man, that's bad juju. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I couldn't do it. I was like, I'll come back and I'll just fast forward and watch all of 32's comments. Because that guy was just going, I was like, what a Debbie Downer.
Depressing. What do you mean?
I was just talking about Castro and communism. I'm like, man, I know all about that. I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's like I do this YouTube to escape all that, not to get bogged down with it. And 32 Icon is too cool to be in that kind of mentality. Anyway, all right, look, Michael Henderson here designed and printed a new curtain rod that supports our living room.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
You know,
here's a question for you.
Cost and reliability of a 3D print build versus a P80. I'd say, all right, let me reframe it this way. To what abuse are you subjecting your frame? Because 3D printed guns are made with one core objective. Everything else is just happy accidents, and that's accessibility, right? Polymer 80s are enthusiast, products, right? You take a mill, you have your jig and your frame, and you poke the holes and stuff, and you get to make it and finish off yourself, right? And it's more of a fun hobby, artisanal. I get to have fun and build it myself kind of experience, right?
Right.
3D printed builds, the goal is accessibility. The goal is I need a gun, and I need a gun now that works, right? If it breaks, I could just print another one and put the parts back in. So
I do have a question in the middle of your story. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I mean, functioning 3D guns has only been a thing for like the last couple of years, right? Because I remember seeing like a big revolver looking deal look real janky about 5 years ago. And I didn't like it.
So you're probably talking about the Liberator by Defense Distributed.
Yeah.
From way back when. Also, if you're honestly confused, Deterrence Dispense is not Defense Distributed. Just heads up. What you saw back then is a preliminary like proof of concept, even though it worked. Design, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, just being in this space for 2 years now, I've seen guns go from like printed Glock frames towards 3D printed semi-automatics like the FGC9, up through like printed high powers, even printed AK receivers. So
no kidding. Did it work? Did it break?
It worked, and I haven't seen it break. Look up the Plastikov, like Kalashnikov, but Plastikov. There's videos on YouTube. Ivan the Troll / Navi Go Boom on Twitter. See a lot of his videos. He's on Instagram too.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, and I think it's just gonna get better from here in terms of design, especially in terms of availability of the kits, because the kits that are made are kits that we look at and we identify. Hey, this looks like a viable candidate for printing, either because of its design, its availability, or because of its uniqueness in terms of like meme like factor. Like the High Point, right? The High Point was a $30 parts kit that EGP was just begging you to get rid of it, and there was an abundance of High Point parts kits. And
that is so cool.
High Point, yeah, and High Points are a meme, right?
Yeah. All right, real quick, let's go to the chat. Shooting Gallery New England, very cool guy. Check out his channel. Just with a $4.99 super chat. That is going to the 3D fund. Yes. Let's see who else is in here. A-Dubs. If the printer messes up, you can have McFarlane style webbing for a Spider-Man Venom 3D figure. Oh, that is cool. And that's actually a possibility because, I don't have a lot of 3D figures that are not Fallout related, but I have tons and tons. Are you a comic book guy?
I don't collect comic books. I read manga, but one comic series I do adore is the Batman series. So
I have a plethora of Batman series. And I think the DC always had a really good story until all this politically correct crap the last 5 years, they've been jamming into it. Like I can't buy comic books after like 2005. They're all crap now. 32 Icon, thanks for the support. I saw the super chat in your comment. Well, so I was trying, I guess I can't say retarded in a chat because I was like, they were talking about Diesel as your work husband. And I'm like, yeah, I'm more like 32 Icon's retarded cousin. No, I think I got banned. I want to invite Diesel on my chat, 32, if you can make that happen. I've been asking him. I think he's just ignoring me. I'm not cool enough, I guess. You need to get your husband in check. All right, Scott Pilgrim. Oh, God, I love that movie. Guns plus comics, I'm definitely in the right place. Absolutely. Guns, comics, and cars. That's my 3 favorite things in the world. Love it. Boss Hog, I love building stuff with Legos. Hey, I tell you what, Boss Hog, I'm probably going to get one of these printers this weekend. And the next meet and greet we have, I'm going to do a special prize. Whoever prints the most accurate pistol will get like a red dot or something. We'll do like a SIG Romeo 5 or something. So whoever, yeah, you fly down for that, son. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I might. Okay.
I don't know if can you enter? Because I don't know if the Godfather creator can go. I mean, most people are going to come with duct tape and all kinds of stuff.
Ooh,
How about you come and be the special judge?
I can come judge. The pistol is one thing, right? The skill to use it, is where it's at, I feel.
Right.
Because, like I mentioned earlier, these parts kits, they're still parts from the original gun. They still sit on the same rails. They still sit at the same places. So it's more skill driven than accuracy of the parts. Now, if you're talking accuracy, I would up the bar a little more. Say, who can make the most accurate gun with an ECM barrel, right? Or the most accurate gun with that's fully or majority 3D printed, right? No,
like 50% printed.
Maybe even do it yourself at home.
I will figure that part out later, but that sounds like a good challenge. Mike McClune says, I remember the Liberator. Only metal part was a roofing nail for the firing pin.
Yep.
That's cool. Appalachian Gun Runner said the 3D printed sent me was a surprise to me. Obviously, it utilizes a kit also. So, yeah, so they sell the barrel and the slide kits. Where do you go to get that? So if I print out just the frame, where do I go get the barrel and slide? How much are those usually run?
Jeez. Well, that depends if we've said something about it yet or not. So here's the thing with the 3D printed movement. There are a lot of opportunists and scalpers in the market, and this is actually one of my pet peeves, because they're not doing it to like pay a mortgage or something, right? They're basically doing it to reduce accessibility in the market, which is our goal, right? Our goal with these files and these designs is to make them accessible to people who can't get them, in places where they need them. So when scalpers come in the market, they basically drive these prices up, right? You can check out places like Gunbroker, look up parts kits in Gunbroker, just make sure you filter out all the AR stuff.
Right.
Every gun part, Numberches, Apex, CDNN, occasionally they have great stuff. In one particular example, CDNN, I don't know if you're aware of print, shoot, repeat. PSR is what they also call him.
Oh yeah. I've actually reached out to him to come on the channel and got no reply.
I'll tell you what. I'll send him a little nudge and
tell him like, dude, this guy wants to make you famous. Well, he's already. I really like his YouTube. He's a very private guy, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's a legend in his own right. He's a great guy. We've spoken and.
His videos are pretty funny. I get a kick out of his videos. They're really good.
The comments that people make under them and his responses to them are even better. If you have time, just sit through the comments in the video. It's just something else. But yeah, he put a video out called $150 printed FN pistol. You think FN, you think, whoa, you like quality. You think like high power. You think 5.7 stuff. $150 pistol from FN? Well, tell me more. The reason why that was CDNN had a lower parts kit, right? 30, 40 bucks. And then they sold slide assemblies with the barrel, with the recoil spring, and with a magazine for 100 bucks, 150 bucks.
Oh man,
Short
that's
version,
not bad.
the long slide version. Yeah, I wonder if I can point to it up here. It's this yellow guy right there, and there's another one behind that. That's a long slide version, and it legitimately was a gun you could get for $150 if you had the printer. Just square out the frame and just put it together. Of course, when the video dropped, and the video pretty much went viral in this realm, right?
Right.
The parts kits just disappeared like that, right? CDNN, of course, did their usual e-commerce thing. Every e-commerce store does this, where they would mark it up by 20% when there's a abnormally high demand, right? And so there was a small markup. So it still wasn't that bad though, right? You could still get a gun for under 200.
Right. That's still a good deal.
Well, then the parts ran out. Because these parts were, I don't know if they were custom runs. Apparently the long slide was a special run by the Maryland police force. And so eventually they ran out. And some opportunists grabbed some parts and they put it on eBay for $400. Like more than double the original price.
I'd rather just go buy a regular gun at that point.
Exactly. And they say builder's kit. So they know exactly what they're doing, right? And there's even one person who gloated to us, said, yeah, I'm not even building guns, I'm just buying the parts kits. And so at that point, I was like, well, I'm not going to do public betas anymore. I'm not going to announce stuff until I'm actually ready to, have a beta.
Right.
Or, just announce it through my Patreon now. I tell my patrons, hey, be on the lookout for these parts kits.
Right. We got Scott Pilgrim in the chat. I guess the P80 builds are rather limited in style and availability. Like if Aftermarket makes a return trip to the producers, my comic collection stopped in 91. Yeah. 91 was a pretty good year. The 90s comics were pretty all right. They're not worth that much, but they're all right. Guns, comics, and cars, even better as long as it's a Ford. Maybe we'll throw in some Nissans. But yeah, I agree. Let's see. Appalachian Gun Runner 3 printed scene change the parts kit market in a major way, making some kits hard to find and expensive, supply and demand. Absolutely. That's true. That is true. I mean, I can see it. So the average parts kit now is like what, $200, $300?
That really depends what you're building.
Just like what's like a 9mm pistol I want to just go build the parts kit?
Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield. Kits used to go for $250. Now they go for $400.
Yeah, but the gun is like $400. It's not even an expensive gun.
Right. That's the problem. And the people who sell these parts kits, they know what they have. And they follow us like hawks. But they don't contribute back to the movement, really. Like, hey, they don't say things like, hey, we got this uncommon, like, obscene supply of parts kits. You want one to, like, do something with it. So everyone wins, right? No, they just sit back and watch our Twitter feeds and be like, oh, Vin just announced a MMP Shield, a Shield 9. Mark.
What a bummer.
Yeah, I know.
Well, then again, though, if you're in a state or you're in a country that you can't make a gun and you absolutely need one, I guess you got to do what you got to do, 400 is better than nothing.
Right. And we actually have started seeing this in places like California and New York, Canada. 3D printed frames are turning up in police seizures. So
I don't know about California gun law. Can you make a 3D printed gun in California? Is that legal?
So Reno May has a video where he did this exact thing. Yes, you can, but with a lot of caveats.
Like what?
Let's see here. He had to ask for a serial number, and then he had to engrave the serial number and his information on a solid chunk of metal and insert it into the frame in a way that removing it would destroy it. Had to be a single shot.
That's so stupid.
Yep, had to be a single shot, manual reloading, and he has a video where he walks through all of it. It's pretty good. And it's just it's a worldview into the draconian hellhole that is California.
Amen to that. California is a complete nightmare. I remember I had to take a pistol written test, which a monkey could pass. I had to, wait 10 days. If I wanted to sell a gun, I had to go to a gun dealer and let him hold on to the gun for 10 days after I sold it, then give it to the new owner. It was such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Georgia.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Scott. Respect to the GTRs. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. You can't forget GTRs. They get an exempt.
I have wanted a GTR, but I looked at the oil changes for it, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm okay just driving a Prius.
No, it's not that bad. $120
for an oil change.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, I mean, you buy a Mercedes or a Lexus, you're $60-$70. Mercedes.
Holy moly! I have a Prius, like a Lexus, the CT hatchback, and my oil changes are just $20. Still, it's still high end, quote unquote, but
it's a Prius.
Yeah, it saves me money. $20 each fill up.
Oh man.
Hey, I gotta like skimp money on everything else so I can do this stuff, right? This is where all
I can't do a Prius. I've driven a couple of Teslas. They're okay. I just can't do Prius, man. They do have a power button though. They do have a power button. I've driven a Prius once. I drove it around a block and parked it. I can't do it again.
I was on a work trip and my first car rental, and they made the horrific mistake of giving me a Dodge Challenger RT. And let's just say that I have a solution to my quarter life crisis now.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, the best handling cars in the world is a rental car. I mean, yeah, I won't teach someone how to drive a car. I'll go rent a car and then I'll teach them on the rental because I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim said, Plagman. Yeah. I keep calling it Pilgrim. Plagman. Printing guns very popular in the UK as well.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting. No, I'm glad that people are making guns in places that need them, you know.
Yeah, amen to that. Let's see. Win Model 88 says he's seen a guy 3 months back buy ammo and resell it in a parking lot at a Walmart. I've seen that a bunch of times, man. And, I'm a capitalist. Look, if the guy got in line early before everyone else, good for him. Do I agree with it? No. But like in Houston, shucks, you can go get ammo. Ammo was on the wall all day today. There was tons of 9mm, tons of 45. And my good friend Mike picked me up a couple hundred rounds of 9mm today while I was stuck at my desk.
There's a point between making a quick profit, and then there's a point where it becomes like simony. I think is the term. Like,
right.
There is a boundary, right?
So look, it's funny. There's this Chinese family in Houston that shows up very early, husband and either a wife and a daughter, and they get in line before everyone else, and they buy all their boxes, and they would resell it. But you know what? Good for them. If you want to get it, Mike, you got 1,200 rounds? Oh, man. So this is my good friend here, Mad Mike, the ammo hunter, and he was out in Houston, Texas today, braving the heat, and he scored 1,200 rounds at 9mm. Holy jamboli.
So,
about $18 a box.
Oh, wow. I feel like when you stand in line, like at Micro Center, right? They started doing the whole blind like lottery or blind like virtual line thing, right? And there's people on Craigslist who say, "I'll stand in line for you for $300."
Oh, that's crazy.
Well, to be fair, 300 standing in line for 3 days ahead of when they restock overnight, and for 3 days, $300 divided by what? 72 hours.
Yeah,
So
what a loser.
yeah, it's about. I guess it's more about how you can earn that time and how much your time is worth, right? But I
Right.
certainly don't know anyone who thinks their time is worth 100, like or like $500 an hour or whatever. Like there's a certain line of, how I say it. I know reasonable is a word that's been beaten to death, but um, realistic. There's a certain line where it's like improbably unrealistic that your time is worth that much.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Like everyone's trying to get those new graphics cards right now, and
Yep.
they're still really in a high demand. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
The GTX whatever, they're paying like $1,000 for those things. It's crazy, or more. I think they retail for like 1,200, don't they?
Yeah, like retail 700, retail 1,200. If you're buying graphics cards for $1,000, tell me where, because tell you what, when I bought graphics cards, I saw one going for like 2 grand, and yeah, no,
Yeah, I mean, I just before this whole thing went crazy, I just built a computer here for my editing, my video editing, and the graphics card I bought was, you don't need anything too crazy for video editing, so it's like around $300, $400, nothing nuts,
mm-hmm.
and it does the job just fine. But everything else high end was completely sold out for days. So even if I'd wanted to, I couldn't have bought a graphics card for weeks, and that's crazy. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a nutty market right now for everything, and I think COVID has just made everything so much worse.
Yeah. Well, the used car market's going. I'm going to sell my GTR actually probably this week.
You have a GTR?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm jelly.
So a guy offered me quite a bit of money more than I owe, more than I paid for it initially. And shucks. So I'm fishing out there in the market. See, I put another 5 grand on it. See if anybody will bite at that. But those things are going for insane amount of money right now. And mine's in great shape. Mine's great. I would never really sell it unless I had to. But man,
Uh-oh.
it's like
Happy life, I'm guessing?
no, it's like 25 grand more than I paid.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you can't say no to that.
I was like, "Are you serious, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, man. I just really want it." I'm like, "All right." He goes, "Cash." I'm like, "Oh, dang, cash." Shucks. So I'm really torn up about it. But I'd be stupid not to take advantage of it right now because I want to buy some property where I can go shoot so I can make my videos out there and start
Yeah.
shooting.
You-
Because lugging around cameras and stuff to gun ranges kind of sucks. Then you have to worry about other people around you shooting you.
yeah. They had to worry about what's it called, leering eyes from the range safety officers and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I go to a really cool range and those guys are pretty cool, but like there's some people that line up next to you sometimes just really stress you out because like I went Sunday by myself, and when I was shooting pistols, there was a family of like 6 people in one bay, and they're like turning around with the pistols, and I'm like, God, I hope none of those pistols are loaded. I left. They made me super uncomfortable, and I'm like, I don't want to get accidentally shot. So
Yeah. So there's a range that I used to go to a lot, and I haven't been just because I've been so busy and I moved away. They have this thing called Groupon deals, where they come shoot our range with this Groupon package, get a rental and get some ammo, and they brought in a lot of the population who had not experienced guns, which is good. It's just that the people that came in had no idea how to use a gun, so um,
right.
horrifically scary. But I mean, you know, it, there's a trade off for everything.
Yeah, it's scary. Like me and my buddy Mike in the chat, we were at an indoor range a couple weeks ago, and there was like this Indian couple next to us, and the guy was flicking his wife in the head because she wasn't holding it right. He was yelling at her. He was like thumping her in the head, and I'm like, damn, bro, that's messed up. And then the wife, she was holding it with like this much gap between the tang and her hand, and she was shaking. Oh my god,
Well, that's
it
horrible.
was so stressful. And so me and Mike just kind of, thank God they were leaving. They were on your way out, but God, that was stressful. That was super stressful. I don't like being around. I like new shooters. I love new shooters, but everyone should go get training at first, some type of training.
Just get familiar with the gun.
Right, 100%. Shooting Gallery English says cash is king. Yes, it is. So let's talk about you for a minute. So you're from originally the East Coast, right?
I was born and raised in Atlanta. I'll probably die here, given how things are
Oh, I
going.
thought you were like on the East Coast, like New England.
Oh, I wish I got a New England phone number because I wanted to move up there after school, but um, obviously it didn't work out. So
Huh.
yeah, I like cold
So
weather. I am dying in this humidity.
I like Atlanta, man. I love to be able to buy a house with a basement. Texas, in Houston, you cannot have a basement. It's all water. You get waterlogged. But man, if I didn't live in Houston, I'd be in Atlanta in a hot minute. My brother lives in Noonan, Georgia, which is south, and like I like north area, like Alpharetta. I really like. Um, yeah, I like Alpharetta a lot. That was a really cool. I had some good times in Alpharetta.
That's the one of the bougie areas. Um, that's up 400 in Atlanta, so that's pretty well off spot.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun. So you're born and raised in Atlanta, and you're working in Atlanta. Have you lived anywhere else?
Nope.
Have you traveled? I'm sure you traveled to other places.
Oh yeah, I travel a lot. Went to visit all my friends in different cities and stuff. I've always been
Nice.
enamored with living in different places, but and I guess that's only because Atlanta's great. I guess it's because I've lived here for so long, and you have to drive more than 4 hours to get to anything fun outside of Atlanta. So, I know in Dallas, Fort Worth, you're 3 hours from Austin, you're 3 hours from Houston, but in Atlanta, you have to go to like Charlotte, you have to go to like Savannah or Orlando, or go 5 hours and you end up in Destin for anything fun.
I did a couple hot import nights in Atlanta back in the olden days, circa 2001, 2002, and we went up to Barrett's Highway. Does that sound familiar?
Barrett Parkway. Yep.
Barrett Parkway. So we went up to Barrett Parkway, and I had this riced out Honda Accord. It was awesome. It was so sweet. And man, that was a party. I had a really good time up there. But my brother was like, "Hey, check this out. Like Noonan, everyone meets at Walmart and they just hang out in the parking lot." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, a lot of these guys will just hang out in the parking lot." And I'm from LA, so I was like, "No way. How boring. Who hangs out in a parking lot?" What? So we went to this, what was it, a Kroger or some kind of parking lot, and it was full of kids just hanging out. And I thought that was the craziest thing I ever saw. And I remember this one kid walked up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, is that one of them Skylines?" I'm like, "No, man, it's a Honda, bro." But mine, I totally had it. It was completely custom. But man, I just thought that was hilarious.
So Atlanta has a pretty big car and import and JDM culture here. If you go up into Gwinnett, like around Duluth, it's basically like Rice City. In terms of cars, that's just a coincidence. There's a lot of Asians there too. So
Yeah, right.
we have a Helen Import Day. We have a Cafe Noctane, and then there's just there's a lot of events. And my friends are like, "Yeah, but you should get a nice car. You should wrap your car." And I was like, I don't need another money pit in my life yet. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you find that special someone, you're gonna be broke. So buy everything you want to buy now. That's how I can always tell somebody, like the guy that's buying the GTR, single, totally has money to spend. I think he's an IT, has no responsibilities, young. Like, all right, man, go ahead. You got the cash, bro.
my retirement plan has always been to I tell this jokingly, it's to basically marry someone in Vietnam, have their family pay me $100,000 for a green card, and then have like 10 kids with her, and then
There
use
you
those kids
go.
for tax breaks.
There you go. Let's say Bionic Crunch says, I remember back in when I was in high school, had a 240SX. Oh, you had a 240? I love 240s. I think that's such a classic car. Too bad most of them now are just trashed. Stupid drifters. C6 says, my nephew just got into 3D printing and just completed his first successful Glock 19 3D printed bottom grip body in all white. Looks amazing.
All right.
All right. So for him to finish that into a gun, he has to buy the barrel, slide, and all the internals, correct?
The parts kits, yes.
Right.
So, make sure your parts kit has the locking block. Those are pretty hard to get your hands on nowadays. You need slide, barrel, recoil spring, trigger, sear caging, and then everything else that goes inside the sear caging. So, yep. And you can buy piece by piece from places like JSD Supply. They sell pretty good
Nice.
EGP. Every gun part sells the kits for like an egregious amount of money, like 600 for like the parts for Glock. It's like come
That's a
on,
waste of money, though. I mean,
right?
that's kind of shucky. I mean, why do it? Like, I don't know. But what if you already had a Glock and you just wanted to take those parts and put them on a blank frame?
Yeah,
That's legal.
that's perfectly fine because just take the parts off your existing gun and put it on a frame that you design yourself. You want your own texture for your grip, or you want your own color. You can do that.
Right. Right. So if you had because I know, I mean, there's so many Gen 1 to Gen 3 Glocks out there that are probably, used and trashed and that might not be in that great a condition. But if you can salvage all those parts and stick them in a new frame, that would be pretty slick.
Oh, okay. If you had a Gen 1, I would not. I would keep that as original as this if it's a Gen 1. But like Gen 3 frames are like super common,
Right.
A police trade-in, super beat up. You get those for cheap before COVID.
Scott Pikeman in the chat says ATL is great with airport. They do have a great airport, but I got COVID in that airport.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I flew up to pick up the GTR and drove it back to Houston, and my flight was delayed. So I stayed there forever, just sitting in that airport, and I know I must have got it there because 2 days after I got to Houston, I was laid out for like a week. Like I was so sick, man. And that was before people really started talking about it. China was just starting to go on lockdown.
Oh yeah, so like December 2019.
Yeah, it was like December.
Yeah.
And I remember I bought as soon as I heard China was locking down for some kind of COVID, I went on Amazon. I bought all kinds of masks, all kind of respirators, the painter's mask, the full face mask, goggles. People don't know a lot of those diseases go through your eye. So if you have the mask and you have like swim goggles, you're kind of protected, but you're not really protected. Masks don't work.
Nope. I think it's all wishy-washy stuff.
No. Have you ever seen someone from the CDC? They're dressed like they're going to the moon. They're dressed like they're in a clean room at like a software company or something or hardware company, but the mask ain't gonna save you.
It's just security theater, just like TSA. It makes you feel safe. I mean, during the pandemic, people were like worshiping nurses and like thank you or heroes and stuff. Now, if nurses don't get vaccinated, they're suddenly the demon and they get fired.
Yeah, and what's crazy? People are like, well, if COVID was so safe, then nurses and doctors wouldn't be dying. I'm like, well, you're doing 3 and 4 shifts. Your immune system is shot to heck. Of course, you have a weakened immune system. You're going to get sick. The flu could take you out.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brother, for instance, he works for a trucking company in Atlanta. He sees tons of people every day, completely healthy. He started staying up real late for like 4 or 5 nights in a row. His immune system got shot to heck, and then boom, got COVID. Was out for a week.
Wow.
Like I take vitamins in the morning, and at night I get lots of sun. I'm a little husky, but you know, I got tactical girth. Shout out to Sticky Holster. Shout out to Sticky Holster. Eric from Sticky Holster is the first one that told me that saying, and I've been using it ever since. I've been wearing that thing out.
Tactical girth.
Tactical girth. That's what fat people in the gun say. I have
Oh my god.
tactical girth. I want to get a shirt that says tactical girth. Can you imagine a fat guy wearing a shirt that says tactical girth?
Very strategic, hard to kidnap, you know.
Right, right. That would be awesome. Let's see. Let's see. Anybody in the chat? So, does anybody in the chat plan on doing a 3D printed gun in the near future? I really want to, but man, if those kits are like $400, it's kind of pointless to do it. Like if I could build a whole gun for like $300, $350, I'd be totally down with that.
It is doable. Keep an eye out for the betas on Deterrent Suspense. Betas are more for you to build and test and provide feedback. It's not necessarily early access. You know, some frames are some lesser known frames like sleepers. You know,
right?
You can get them for like less than 200. Like frames are already released like 2-3 years ago. I bought a kit for about 3 kits, each for less than 200. So it's still doable. You just have to look, be patient. You know, bid only within the last 15 minutes, and yeah, keep an eye out. You will
Nice.
find one, you know.
There's a question for you in the chat I put up on the board.
So Kevin, he said it took about 40 hours to print. Is that typical printing time for a printing project like that? No, 48 hours. The one I mentioned is the Mac Daddy. That was a pretty big print and on a pretty normal size nozzle, you know, 0.4 millimeters. So that took a while to go. Generally, your average pistol or AR receiver, less than 24 hours.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice. B-Noise wants to use tactical girth for his band's name. Absolutely. It's not my saying. I got it from the Sticky Holster guy who'll be on next week. He's a cool dude, but let's see. I got some tactical girth too. It's because I eat tactical donuts. I love it, man. I love YouTube. I love these crazy guys. They're so much fun. But yeah, so I'm going to do another meet in September. You should come down for it. Usually it's about 25 guys that we're not very tactical, but we like to just hang out and have fun. We'll go out and get a steak or something. It'd be fun. And it's nothing like IV88, man.
This is in, when is this?
Like September sometime. Probably like the second week of September.
Second week of September?
Or I got to check. I got to make sure it gets a little cooler before I do it because, God, it's been really hot. Like,
yeah, some info.
Ridiculous hot.
Yeah, this heat and humidity has gone a little bad.
How is it in Atlanta? Well, you don't have the humidity though.
It's not as humid as Houston, but we do have humidity here.
Because I was cold when I went up there. I was freezing. I was like, "Yeah, it's freezing here."
Really?
Yeah.
It's like 90 degrees in your car right now, but generally around like 80 and 70, 80 in like the high 70s. It's not as bad as other summers. I'll put it that way.
That's not too bad. It's funny because my oldest daughter's half Vietnamese, and some of her relatives, and they come from Vietnam. They're like, "Oh, it's hot here." I'm like, "Damn, you're saying it's hot here? That's crazy." They're like, "Oh, it's so humid." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "You're saying it's humid? Then you know it's humid." They're like,
Yeah.
"It's so hot." I'm like, "Wow, that's crazy."
When I was in Vietnam, I remember I showered like 3 times a day, like consecutively, because it was just so hot.
So you were there visiting relatives?
But this was way back when I was younger. Yeah, I just went back to visit family and such.
You know, that'd be cool.
So no much reason to go back.
Yeah, well, I want my daughter to go back. My oldest, she's 20. I want her to go back so she can kind of get in touch with the roots a little bit and just appreciate where she came from. You know.
I will be very frank. The Vietnam today is not the Vietnam that we left back then. Very different No freedom.
Were you born in Vietnam?
No, I was born in America, but I grew up around a very strong Vietnamese community made up of people from the diaspora. You know, you want to take her around, take her to places like
I'll take you to Long Beach, California.
Orange County, California.
Cerritos,
Um,
Downey.
oh my gosh.
Do you know what's funny? I think Houston has one of the biggest Vietnamese populations outside of California.
Yep.
It's huge. If you go like to the Sugar Land area, that's where you get the really. Yeah. When I saw Lee's sandwiches here, I was crying because I got so homesick for food. I'm a big foodie, and growing up in LA, I used to cruise out the Lee's sandwiches, then we'd go like to the Mall of Asia. And do you know that part in Fast and Furious where they blew up the green eclipse?
No.
Anyway, there's a part in that movie, and that parking lot is the parking lot where little Mall of Asia was, and we used to go there and buy all the Burn trance and techno CDs because we thought we were so cool and so lame.
I miss that stuff. The video stores aren't really a thing anymore. The internet killed a lot of the video stores we had growing up.
Yeah, what's cool is I was in Dallas, and then I was up by the Colony. There's like a huge Asian community up there, and we had some really good food. We went and had some Korean barbecue. There's a huge tight-knit area, and it's all condensed. It's really a cool area.
You're probably in Carrollton around there.
Maybe. Carrollton. Maybe. It's like north
of Dallas, right?
Yeah, north of Dallas.
It's just like a hair on the loop.
Right. It was so cool, man. It was real. We had some great food there. It was awesome.
I go there every time. I go there for work, and I just absolutely have to eat there. So
yeah, it's good. There was it's a Korean barbecue called shucks, I forgot the name. It wasn't Jin. Maybe it was Jin.
Yeah, Jen is there.
Oh yeah, maybe it was Jin. Yeah, I think it was. But yeah, I love it. That's a great little spot. All right, says Mike, how do you get the name to display in red? Can't figure it out. What name? To display in red? Michael, what are you talking about, buddy? I just looked. Micro Center has 25 plus Ender 3s for $199. Only one open box for $159.
Wherever you are, B-Noise, you better go get it. That's not bad.
What, $159?
Yeah, Amazon right now is like $169.
I don't know, man. I'd rather spend the extra money.
Trust me, if you're gonna tinker with 3D printing, you will tinker and you will play around your printer. So you can save a few bucks with open box. Definitely worth it. My Ender 5 Plus, 512.
All right. Yep. Here's another question for you.
I have a question for Kevin. What 1022 exclusive is that behind him? Or what did he do to color himself, the white and gray one? This one? That's a 3D printed frame. It's Ivan's 1022. You can also find it off the same site, Stitcher and Suspense, Galog. That one's actually a spray paint job.
Oh, you didn't use like special. So the filaments come in different colors too, right? You can get all these different colors.
Oh yeah, you can get like sparkly gold, sparkly blue, glow in the dark. The Ruger behind the orange one right here, that's glow in the dark blue.
Oh, that is very cool. But I don't know if I want a glow in the dark gun.
They're more.
That's hilarious. The bad guys will see you coming a mile away.
Hey, it's like a ghost gun.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, make those gun control elitists, weep in their seats. That's a ghost gun.
What's an Ender 3 V2?
It's an upgraded Ender 3. Open box 200? That's pretty good. I get that.
You better get it quick, B-Noise. Someone's gonna buy it and have it shipped. Scott Plegman says, big Vietnamese cuties, North ATL, great spot for pho. Oh my God. Did you ever see that cartoon, How to Make Pho?
No.
It's one of those old cheesy cartoons from like the 90s. And it's this guy with a horrible Vietnamese accent, how to make pho, and he ends up chopping his fingers off. It's freaking, his name is What the F-U-C. It's so old. I know you've seen it.
Yeah, it's a Flash video from like the early 2000s.
Yes.
Remember this? Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
good.
It was,
That's not how you make pho.
oh, but the fact that you just brought that back into like my headspace is like
That's so old, bro. That
that
was one of the first. That was one of the first viral videos that went around. At least my group of friends. That thing was hilarious. Everyone watched the heck out of that.
So you grew up with like the trance music, the LAN party era, right?
Yeah, I mean, I went to high school in
Yeah.
'95.
Wow.
How old are you?
25. So you went to school. You were in high school a year before I was born.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, look, my colleagues, I do the same thing to them, right? My older peers, I absolutely love working with them, love being around them. One of them said, "Yeah, I started back here in '96," and I said, "Wow, you've been here for as long as I've been born."
I thought we were cool, man, but I don't know. You know, you can tell them, hey, man, we should go out to eat and you pay so we can use your seniors card. Old people love that one. Yeah, old people love that joke. All right, so basically we can get 3D printed for $250. We can get started 3D printing.
Yep.
Man. And all those files are free out there on the web, right?
Yeah.
And once you download them, that's it. Because aren't they trying to do something now where they try and ban them and take them off the web?
Well, they can try, but like, you know, like they try banning hate speech, but you still hear people saying pretty ridiculous things, you know?
Oh, yeah. You ever go to a Call of Duty chat? Jeez.
Whew!
That gets outrageous.
It's going to be a hate crime if they love doing it.
And they're little kids saying that stuff, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Man, like jumping to like an online game lobby, it's like I'd rather stay at my Christian Discord server and play Minecraft in there. Although the kids call nowadays, they're safe.
Yeah. My son is actually we're gonna start putting together some Minecraft videos. He's a Minecraft fanatic. Like Dream just dropped a video tonight, so after this, we got to go sit and watch Dream, his 2 Assassin versus Dream video. If you don't know it, Dream is a very exciting Minecrafter to watch. I get excited watching him. You ever watch Dream?
No, I haven't. But
what?
No, I'm not really.
Some of the stuff he does is insane.
I guess I could swing by. I know he pops up on Twitter trending, and people say crazy things. It's like, why is he trending? He's a streamer for some reason. But yeah.
No, Dream is like a really good. The way he does his video, right? He'll do like 5 hunters versus him, and he just has to beat the game before they kill him. But what he'll do is he'll keep his hearts to like 1.5 hearts. And as he goes through the game, it's exciting because any second he could die.
Oh,
but
wow.
it's very well edited together, and it's actually he'll cut down like an hour game into 15 minutes, but it's an exciting 15 minutes. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny stuff. I like his channel quite a bit. Class of 92, B-Noise. Holy smokes, bro. That's old.
Ooh.
Scott graduated in 85. Oh my God, 85. Why didn't you buy all those G.I. Joes and Transformers when you were a kid, buddy?
Well, if you were a kid, you probably would have the money to buy it.
That is true.
That's true.
I wish I would have kept. Well, I didn't really have anything cool.
Well, I think anything from that era is like worth a lot. Like, there's a local store around me where they sell used video games and used 80s collectibles, and people bring it in and they trade for a prima. I mean, you heard about the whole Pokemon card thing nowadays.
Oh, see, is that making a comeback? Because my sister, for some reason, my sister wanted to start collecting something, and so she got into Pokemon cards. And this is back 90s.
Okay.
And she has a lot, like a ridiculous amount of Pokemon cards, all sleeved up, like the Charizards and all that. She's got a bunch of that stuff. And
on a gold mine, just
sitting in her closet, bro.
I go get that appraised from based on what I'm hearing. People with money, they spend a lot of money on memories.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
All these comic books. So here, let me just give you a quick tour. So when I moved to Texas, I had no comic books, but I remembered all the ones I bought. So I bought all my comic books back,
Oh. And you have
and
some
I got
great.
cabinets full of them. Cabinets full of them. And I actually got banned from eBay. My wife kicked me off eBay. I can no longer go on eBay because I bought Punisher's first appearance and I spent way too much money on it.
Oh my gosh.
I know. She spent that on a paper comic book. I'm like, yeah, but it's his first appearance. And she goes, no. So I rebought my entire collection from memory because I remember every book I had. And yeah, that was a whole sickness for like 2 years.
You're in Houston, so you are fortunate enough to have a lot of half-price books around you.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah. Dallas, Fort Worth and Austin are the cities that I absolutely love going book hunting in. Because half-price books are just everywhere.
Yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff in there. I take the kids in like kids books. You can get kids books so cheap. So that's where we get a lot of the kids stuff. Half price books. Let's see. Yeah, Mike McClune banned from Evil Bay. Yeah, that's what she called it. AF says Joe Rogan to the 2A community. That's just because I'm bald.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not. I wish I had 5% of Joe Rogan's wealth. I'd be totally cool with that. I think he's worth north of like 275 now.
Million?
Yeah.
Wow.
Joe Rogan has tons of cash now.
Man.
All right. Well, hey, man, I really want to have you back on in a little bit. I'm going to get a 3D printer probably this weekend. And I'm going to have to get a lot of filament because I have a feeling I'm going to be printing out the dumbest stuff I can find. Any file that says childish, immature, stupid, I'm probably going to get it and download it. I'm going to have 3D printed everything. Like, I think, can't you build like little Fallout figurines too?
If you want them to look good, you should get a resin printer.
A resin printer.
Yep. So that's basically resin is basically looks like vat of liquid. You pour it into this little vat, and there's a UV light on the bottom of the UV display where it flashes for like a certain amount of time, and it cures the resin, and the machine basically hovers up and down, and it cures a different image each time to create a high fidelity figure.
But you can't make guns with that one, right?
Some people have been daring enough to try that with high impact resin. So it's doable, but it's definitely, the space is not as mature as like the 3D printers we're aware of right now. We're familiar with right now, the fused deposit FDM printers, fused deposition printers.
I'm gonna have to do it. Oh, look, William's in the chat. Gonna nerd out, but have you guys ever watched people speedrun NES games? You know, I have.
I have. People are pretty nutty on those speedruns. And there's a lot of drama in that community too, believe it or not. Like, oh, I think someone cheated. Oh, this frame here didn't line up with that frame.
Some people do cheat. It was like, why would you want to cheat? How stupid, right?
That's so fun. Like,
I actually was starting to watch Star Trek Voyager again, just because I really like Jerry Ryan. I like it. Michael Henderson says, lots of free stuff you can download and print on Thingiverse.
Yep, Thingiverse.
Nice.
A site you can go to get 3D models and stuff. You will spend the first month accessorizing your printer when you print it out. Fan vents, little holders for your stuff. All sorts of goodies. Clips for your cables.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, B-Noise says he still has Atari 2600 consoles and an original NES console. Man, I actually have a PlayStation 1 with Zelda, and it's sitting in a box. It's never plugged in.
Wait, PlayStation 1 with Zelda?
My wife bought it because she wanted to play. She unwrapped it and then just stuck it in a drawer. The box, everything's in mint condition. It's just sitting there. But I don't know.
Get that PlayStation graded. So, get that.
Smash, on a scale of 1 to seeking out a healer and naming it dog meat, how big of a Fallout fan are you? A-dubs, Fallout 4, I spent an insane amount of time. Fallout 76, I have 3,672 hours.
Wait,
Now,
you played?
gameplay.
Wow.
Now, if you divide that by 24, that's called being pathetic. And I only know that number exactly because I just checked it a while ago. Because I thought about turning it back on and playing, but with YouTube and my job, I just don't have the time. But anybody that spends more than 3,000 hours playing a game is a retard. Guilty. That's like a full-time job.
I've spent over 3,000 hours over the course of 14 years, according to Steam. That's not.
Yeah, this is like 3,000 hours on one game in about a year and 2 months.
And you have kids?
Exactly.
Wow, your wife must be like really like you must have done something really bad to upset your wife with eBay because your wife let you play it. Holy cow! Well, you probably play with your kids, so
No.
no. Oh, okay.
No, well, I'd come home. Plus, I worked from home too. So I remember I had one job. I was really good at it. So I would knock out my whole job within a few hours. Then I would do about 6 hours in the daytime, or I would play as I worked, play, work, and then I would knock about 4 or 5 hours at night. So any good, I was spending about 10 hours a day on the game.
Wow.
For a long time. So I haven't played it in about 6 months, and I still have more hours than most people on there.
Man,
Shooting Gallery New England. Are you Assassin's Creed fan? Again. Very pathetically, I spent hours and hours and hours being Ezio del Toro.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. I love Assassin's Creed. I like the first 4. I don't like any of the other ones.
Usually sequels are kind of it's like Terminator 1 and 2.
Right.
First and the sequel are awesome. Everything else kind of and it kind of went downhill from that point.
Couldn't you just 3D print all your accessories for your newly acquired 3D printer?
Yes.
That is very cool.
Yep. I wish I could turn my camera around there, but yeah, put little cable clips and just run the cables alongside the printer.
Nice.
Yeah.
No Fortnite. I refuse to play that game.
Ew. Disgusting.
No, I played, as far as shooters, I played SOCOM years ago because that was a fun game.
Yo, SOCOM on PS2.
You can't get much better. PS2 and PS3. Confrontation wasn't a bad SOCOM game towards the end when they fixed it, but it was really a great game. Nice. My Boss Hog says my attention span is not long enough to play video games.
Usually it's a time thing. I come home from 10-hour shifts and I'm like, I want to play something, and it's like, I'm too tired. It's like, yeah.
See Wolf GT3. Oh, like Grand Theft Auto 2? Oh man, I love Grand Theft Auto games.
Or Gran Turismo 3.
Well, he played Gran Turismo, but like Gran Turismo, I like open world. So like Fallout, of course, is number 1. And then I have Assassin's Creed was a lot of fun, but nothing I think can beat. Shucks, I just said it. Grand Theft Auto. The last couple Grand Theft Autos, the last 2 were great, phenomenal games.
4 and 5, right?
Yeah, I thought 5. The storyline was insane. It was so much fun to play that game.
I wish they made more story content for 5. They're really just milking the online part.
I don't like the online stuff. I want a good storyline. I don't want to run around. I don't know. But like I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 so much, I thought about like robbing a Brinks armored truck. So I'm like, if I had 2 sticky bombs, I could totally get all that money right now.
I will say I have this theme park idea. Almost like Westworld, where a theme park where you can just act criminal. Just see what it's like. Just see what it's like, right? Like you want to like rob an armored truck, you want to rob a bank, okay? Do it in this theme park, yeah, feel for it. Or like you want to, print auto sears, okay, do it in this theme park.
That'd be
You know,
so expensive.
let's like see what it's like to be bad for once, you know. Because I grew up pretty sheltered. You know, I want to see what it's like to be bad. You know, the baddest thing I've done is print guns.
Oh, so Will says he likes the Assassin's Creed. You know what's funny? I didn't like the pirate one. I liked all the other Assassin's Creed, but I just couldn't get into the pirate one. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the pirate one. I didn't like boats. Like it felt weird to be in a boat. I don't know. Then the story got real wonky. Then the last two I didn't like. Black Flag, yeah. Anyway, man, I really want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on. I know it's a little late for you right now. It's like 10:30, but this is a lot of fun. And I'm going to get a printer and I'm going to print out some obscene, stupid, immature, childish things. Lots of it. And I can't wait to show you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, man. All right.
I'm going to... The stupidity going through my mind right now is like insane. I can't wait to print out like funny stuff.
There is the Picatinny tactical tusk you can get from Control Q. I think it might be on Deterrent Suspense Odyssey page too.
Tactical tusk?
Yeah, it's basically like a like unicorn or narwhal tusk, and it's like a Picatinny mount at the base of it, and you can just like poke stuff with it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Oh, check it out. Mike McClune with the super sticker. Look at that. So I got about $30 in this chat. Every single penny is going to go towards that 3D printer. I can't wait to get it.
You got enough for a roll of filament.
Yeah, awesome. So anytime you see me walking around with some ridiculous thing, you're like, I help pay for that.
Oh,
Nice.
Man, let's see what you print. And then,
awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much. Vin, do you go by Vin?
Yeah, I go by Vin.
All right, Vin, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate your time. And everybody, go out and buy a 3D printer because I think you'll have just so much fun using it. And from what I understand, it's pretty easy to use.
And inexpensive.
I'm just trying to think of all the dumb gun stuff I want to build. All the figures. I want to make some little baby Yodas. I've seen someone 3D print a baby Yoda, and it was cool as heck. I really want to do it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Vin, thank you so much for coming on. Remember, this Thursday coming up, I have American Gun Chick. The Tuesday after that, I have Sticky Holster, Eric from Sticky Holster. And then that Thursday, I'm going to have Gun Drummer on. Gun Drummer is really out of this world cool. I'm such a huge fan of that guy. Thank you guys so much. Till next time.